All right, fifth graders, in the previous video, you saw me explaining some of these ideas for weight, and you saw Miss Bush testing the weight. Now, I always want you to go and get your own pendulum and test some of these things yourself. Today, for part one of our worksheet, Miss Bush will show you the test, and for part two, I need you to do the test, because that's when your brain really does the learning. But let's go over some of these answers. They're actually written on my whiteboard behind me, and you can see right here. Part one, weight. How does affect the number of pendulum swings? For this first blank in green, it's the word in green on my board right here. It's weight. How does the weight affect the number of pendulum swings? Well, now we have three variables in this experiment, and they are color-coded on your worksheet the same as they are on Miss Bush's board. Your change variable is the weight. So my word in green is weight, and for your change variable, that green line, you need to write in weight. That's the thing I changed on purpose by adding 2 pennies to my pendulum. Next up, measured variable, the outcome. The outcome is always the second part of our science question right there, and it's blue. Up here on my whiteboard, it's blue. It's the number of pendulum swings. And I abbreviated it to make it fit on my line down here. It's still in blue, number of swings. That is your measured variable. We're counting how many times does it swing back and forth. Next, controlled variables. And here are all the things we are keeping the same to make this a very fair test. This would not be a fair test if I changed everything all at once. We talked about that with the gummy bear lab and the apple color lab, that we had to change one thing at a time to make this a fair science experiment. So the only thing we're changing right now is the weight. The control variables in red match the words in red on my board. If you can't see them, I can angle it even more. We said it was the time of 15 seconds, the starting point, and the length, 38 centimeters, all things we are keeping the same. So now evidence, I claim the weight of the pendulum. You need to fill that in, and you need to do your thinking. Does or does not affect the number of swings. And evidence, I tested it and I observed swings in 15 seconds. And if we were at school, for some of those like math masters, superstars out there, if we were at school, I would be showing you how to calculate the average, which in math class you talk about the mean, median, and mode. I would be showing you right now how to calculate the mean, where you add the 3 tests together and then divide by 3. So there is an extra bonus challenge for some of you super scientists who want to go for it. But I'm just saying that's an extra. I think it gets to be too many steps and directions for this video. So let's test this out. I have my timer set to 15 seconds, and I'm starting at what I would call table height, or parallel to the floor, and we are going to count how many swings in 15 seconds with 2 pennies. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, did I miss one? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think I got 13. Did Miss Bush count correctly? I'm not sure. Let's repeat that test. Let's do what good scientists do. Let's do it again. That's what scientists really do. They get more than one test, because sometimes you miscount or do something a little off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one was 12, kind of 12 and a half, but we call 12 and a half. Like if it doesn't finish 13, we count that as 12 for this experiment. So 13, 12, I'm going to test it again to see which one it is, because if it's getting 13s and before Miss Bush got 12s, and this extra penny is causing a change, and this might be the trick to making it change the number of swings. But if I test it a third time and it turns out 12, then maybe my counting was off. Okay, on our marks, get set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was another 12. I don't know if you could see it well on the screen. So I could write down in my results that it was 13, 12, 12. Oh, I wrote that in the wrong spot. I'm so sorry, friends. So I will take those out. They should go here in the evidence. Those are my evidence. My measurements are my proof. They're my evidence. So another word for that could be my facts. Those are my facts that I can show in my science work. So you need to fill in this word right here. Claim the weight of the pendulum does or does not affect the number of swings. Evidence, I tested and I observed 13, 12, 12 swings in 15 seconds. And normally we would add these three numbers together and divide by 3 to write in an average. That's the best mathematical way to do it. But if that just confused you, then just ignore that little part and you can write the 3 times that you measured it. That might be a simpler way. Well, now you should have part 1 done on your video or on your worksheet. If you do not, you can hit pause, hit the pause button, finish part 1 of your worksheet, fill in those answers right now. They're on the board behind Miss Bush. Can you see that? Can you see them there? They're right there for you. And then hit play after you have part 1 of your worksheet filled out. Okay, that was your chance to hit pause. If you didn't, then we are going to go on to part 2. Friends, part 2 is down here. Let me delete those answers so I don't leave answers in. Part 2 is about the starting point. That was another idea. Every school year when I teach pendulum, students say, what if we change the starting point? So let me get writing on my whiteboard over here and show you some answers. I'm going to fill in less this time and leave more for you to fill in. But I definitely need a green, blue, and red marker to keep it the same pattern. Number 1, the question is always the same science question around here. How does affect And we're still trying to affect or change the number of swings. So how does affect the number of swings? Well, that one is our big topic. That's the thing we're doing right now. That's the starting point. So I would write in starting point here. Starting point. And then down here, instead of weight, I am going to change that. The change variable is now the starting point. That's our new test. How does the starting point? Now, our measured variable or our outcome, the thing that's getting affected, is the number of pendulum swings. So that's blue. That's still the same, the number of pendulum swings. But our control variables are changing a little. We're still keeping the time the same, 15 seconds. We're still keeping 38 centimeters the same. We are not keeping the starting point the same, but we are going to go back to 1 penny. Why? Because we only want to change one variable at a time. So I'm going to write the weight is something we keep the same, and that is 1 penny. So 1 penny to do that. And that is an important part of controlling variables, doing one test at a time. Now, I just gave you many answers for part 2 for the starting point, but I'm not giving all the answers. So soon you're going to need to figure this out yourself. I'm leaving claim. The starting point of the pendulum does or does not affect the number of swings. In evidence, I tested and I observed, Friends, there will be a lot of extra space here on your worksheet. I am looking for you to test the starting point of your pendulum with only 1 penny. And I would like to see you, I would love it if you tested it with 2 pennies or a quarter or other weights. But after you do that, I want you to come back and test the starting point. You could start it down low and time 15 seconds and see if that changes the 12 swings. You could start up higher and see if that changes the 12 swings. I am looking for you to do it. And friends, I believe I showed you. We all have a pendulum somewhere, even if it is this. Count how many swings this does in 15 seconds and see if adjusting the starting point changes those swings. We all have an iPad charger, or maybe you have dental floss. Dental floss could be great, and maybe you don't have a meter stick or a measurement device. Well, you can still see how many swings in 15 seconds and change it. Should I show you right now? Here we go. This is the challenge. So I have to hit start and hold it at the same time. That's the challenge. 3. Okay, here I got it. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So if this was my pendulum, and I didn't have a measuring device to measure 38 centimeters. So this was just my pendulum. Then I have 13 swings in 15 seconds. I need to test the starting point would change it. I could start it higher. I could start it lower. I need to get my own evidence. This is your homework for Tuesday. Get your own evidence. And then I'm going to add on to this worksheet. I really need a picture. Add a picture of you and your pendulum as you test the starting point. Why? Because I love your smiles and I love seeing the work you're doing. What if you can't get this figured out? You're stuck, you're stumped, you're frustrated. Every day at 1:30, I have a Google Meet. My code is HMSCI, and those are my office hours, and I am there to answer your questions. So even if other kids are there hanging out and talking, there's a few kids that hang out and talk in office hours. You are my number one priority, the kids who need help with their work. That is why I'm in office hours. So please come by if you need a little help. Have fun learning, do some great work. You might be done by the end of this video. I've been talking a little here at the end. Talk, Miss Bush. It is very possible you are now done. Can you hear my family listening to Christmas music in the background? I have no idea why. I don't know what's happening upstairs while I'm making this video. I better check it out.